Namaskar. Welcome to this session. We just completed considering the Indriya Jaya concept through Samyama. And the Samyama is on 5 forms of Indriyas. 5 forms of Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Antarendriyas, Sharirendriyas. So this also opens out the enormous portal of human embodiment. So many esoteric aspects are there. While we in a mundane world are caught in the external form of our embodiment, external form of our body, mind, senses, and we do not know the ocean depth that all these indriyas have. Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Manasendriyas and Sharirendriyas. So it opens out the enormous portal of esoteric anatomy. Anyway, we will not be going into it because we have got the clue that there are 5 forms of all organs of our embodiment. Our embodiment is collocation and assembly of organs, various organs, body-mind organs, body-mind psyche organs, and they have 5 forms: Grahana, Swarupa, Asmita, Anvaya, Arthavatva. So it opens out great scope to look into all these forms and construe the concept of esoteric anatomy. Anyway, by these Sanyama, the Indriya Jaya occurs, and by Indriya Jaya, Tato Manojavitvam Vikarana Bhava Pradhana Jayascha is mentioned in the 3.48 Sutra. Manojavitvam, Manovega Yuktatvam. Nothing has velocity of the mind. Mind has velocity which can be considered as absolute velocity. And the second one is Vikarana Bhava. Vikarana Bhava means Indriya Nirapeksha Indriya Gati. All the Indriyas don't have to depend on body, but it is possible to separate them from the body, and they can go to different locations and destinations, which is not our case. Wherever our body goes, our indriyas follow. But we cannot allow the indriyas to become independent and go out of the body and go to any destination. But that is possible in the siddhi called Vikarana Bhava. Vikarana means Indriya Nirapeksha Indriya Gati. They don't have to depend upon body. Then Pradhana Jaya. So let's look into Vyasa's commentary here. He says, Kayasya anuttamo gatilabho manojavitvam. The kaya, the body, gets unparalleled velocity. Anuttama gati. That is, nothing can be better than that. No velocity can be better than that. Even the light velocity would be put to shame with the velocity of the mind. So that's called Sarvottama Anuttama Gati. So this is expressed in Vyasa's commentary. Kayasya Anuttamo Gati Labha Manojavitvam. And that is called Manojavitvam. Then secondly, Videhanam Indriyanam Avipreta Dejakala Vishayapeksho Vrittilabho Vikarana Bhavaha. With reference to Desha and Kala, the Indriyas, the collocation or assembly of Indriyas can be free from the shackles of the body embodiment, and they become dehabhimana rahitam. That's why videhana. Videhana means disembodied beings. So the senses can get the freedom to move on their own and not depend upon body. That is videhanam indriyanam abhipreta deshakala vishayapeksho vritti labho vikarana bhavaha. So dehabhiman is ended. They are now no longer bound to body, and then they get the special vritti labha. They get special function because of abhimana nivrutti with the body. Otherwise our organs are having dehabhimana. They are so bound to body, and therefore they cannot get that vritti labha. But the vritti labha coming due to this ability to free the indriyas from the body is vikarana bhava. Then the third one is pradhana jaya. So Vyasa beautifully explains it. Sarva prakriti vikara vashitvam pradhana jaya. Ityestastisra siddhayo madhupratika uchyante. So the Prakriti has so many mutations and vikaras, and to be having mastery over them is called Swamitva. That is Prakriti Jaya. And these three siddhis mentioned here, namely Manojavitvam, number 1, Vikarana Bhava, number 2, and Pradhana Jaya, number 3. These three siddhis come under a category of yogis called Madhu Pratika. And incidentally, I told you about in the last session about the other bhumis. They are Madhumati, Madhu Pratika, Vishoka, Samskara, Shesha. So these are 4 calibrations of yogis. And this is Madhu Pratika. That means it is second. This is second hierarchy of yogis. There are 2 more levels after this, namely Vishoka and Samskara Shesha. And that is the Karana Pancha, the Karana Pancha Rupam, and this happens because of Karana Pancha Rupa Jayam. So these 3 siddhis come out of Indriya Jaya mentioned here. So with that, we understood the sutra which is mentioning Indriya Jaya, Pradhana Jaya, Vikarana Bhava and Manojavitvam. Now we should recall that the twilight condition that comes before Viveka Khyati, it was referred to while we were dealing with the sutra on Pratibha, Pratibha and Pratibha Jnanam. So the yogi would be landing into a condition that is called Sattva Purusha Anyata Khyati. So the 3.49 sutra comes to mention about this. Sattva Purusha Anyata Khyati Matrasya Sarvabhavadhishtatruttvam Sarvajnatrutvam Cha. So by Sattva Purusha Anyata Khyati, which is also referred to as Viveka Khyati, or as it is known today called discriminate discernment between Sattva and Purusha. So a yogi who is established in this Viveka Khyati he gets Sarva Bhava Adhishtathrutvam. Sarva Bhava, Sarva Padarthas, all the things, absolutely all the things of this universe, in this universe, he gets the mastery. Swamitvam. So Sarva Bhava Adhishtathrutvam is Sarva Bhava Swamitvam. He gets the mastery over all forms of things in the nature, in the Brahmanda, in the universe, which might be gross, subtle, metaphysical, physical. He gets the conquest, and that is Sarva Bhava Adhishtathrutvam. So also Sarvagnatvam, Sarvagnyatrutvam. Also Sarvagnyatrutvam cha. That is all lowership. Like we have a condition that we do not know many things. We cannot be knowing many things. It is not possible to know many things. This is not the case here. He has Sarvagnyatrutvam cha. He has ability to be knowing everything that yogi wants to know. Even if you want to know so many things, we don't know, we cannot know. It is impossible to know. It is improbable that we will be knowing it. But here such impossibilities are set aside. And that is Sarvagnyatrutvam cha. Also Sarvagnyatrutvam apart from Sarva Bhava Adhishtathrutvam. So Vyasa proceeds explaining this. How does it happen? How does this siddhi come about? Nirdhuta rajastamo malasya muddhisattvasya pare vaisharadye parasyam vashikara sajñāyam vartamanasya sattva-purusha anyata-khyātya-matra rūpam pratisthasya sarva-bhāvādhishthātrutvam. How does the mastery over all things of the universe, in all their stages, how does the mastery come here? It is because of rajatam malas. The dirt in the form of Rajoguna and Tamoguna is now separated from the Buddhisattva. The now Buddhi is bereft of Tamomala and Rajomala. There is no dirt in the form of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So that is Paravaisharadyam, Paranirmalatvam, Paramanirmalatvam, and therefore it gets Paramasthirya, Parama Achalatva, Parama Ekagratva. So these are the things which are needed in the Samadhi process. So Nirmalatvam, faultlessness, immaculate conditions of the Buddhisattva, of the psychic consciousness, pristine condition of the consciousness. So also Sthiryam, the steadiness, Achalatvam, non-flutteringness or immovability, Ekagratvam, Eka-agratvam. So this you should recall the sutra of Shaucha, Anta Shaucha. We understood the concept of Ekagra, Ekagryam. So that Ekagryam comes to yogi's mind, and therefore the chitta is settled in Paravairagya, and in Paravairagya he gets Sattva Purusha Anyata Khyati, and therefore he gets Swamitvam on all the things. The Swamitvam means Viniyoga Swamitvam. He is able to use them. Viniyoga Swamitvam is the meaning of Swamitva. It is not mastery over in the sense that it's ownership. He doesn't own them. It is Viniyoga Samarthyam. This is clear in Vyasa's commentary. Otherwise, mastery is taken to mean as if it is ownership. and the mastery. But the mastery means Viniyoga Swamitvam. This occurs to the Buddhisattva of yogi. Then he proceeds, Sarvatmano Guna Vyavasayatmakaha Swaminam Kshetragnyam Pratyashesha Drishyatpatvena Upasthita iti arthaha. What does it mean? The Sarvabhava Adhishtatrutvam, what does it mean? Whatever is Jada Prakashatmaka, whatever is inert and living, sentient and insentient, all those which are gunamaya padarthas, all those are made up of sattva rajatama guna padarthas, gunas. They become subservient to kshetragnya rupa swami. The kshetragnya, they embodied. So they accord the mastership to the embodied, which is Purusha, which is the self. And they are all available to him in Bhogya Rupa and in Drushya Rupa. That is, Vyavasayatmaka means Grahanatmaka. Vyavasayatmaka means Grahyatmaka. So, Vyavasayatmaka and Vyayasayatmaka. So, Vyavasaya, Vyavaseya. That is the Grahya and Grahana Rupa. Graspable and the instrumental and objective. They all come in the control of that yogi. And that is Sarvabhava Adhishtatrutvam. Then Sarvajñatrutvam Sarvatmanam Gunanam Shanta Udita Abhyapadesha Dharmatvena Vyavasthitanam Kramoparudham Vivekajam Jnanam iti artha. What is Sarvajñatrutvam? Sarvajñatrutvam Sarvatmana Gunanam. Sarvatmana means Shanta Udita Avyapadesha states. Latent, actual and potential states. The gunas either exist in an actual state or in potential state or in a latent state. And the guna parinama jnana happens kramanirapeksha. So, yogi is able to know all these things without depending upon the successive order or succession order in the things, because the things come from potential to actual to and then go to latent. So this is the krama, this is the sequence. First it is in potential state, then it comes to actual state, and then it goes to latent state. But yogi is not bound by these phases and stages. He gets that jnana absolutely because it is vivekaja jnana, jnana born out of vivekam. So this is called Vishokanama Siddhi. This is the next level of yogis which we were mentioned earlier. So now this is Vishoka Siddhi. Ityesham Vishokanama Siddhi yam yogi sarva prapta yogi sarvajnaha kshena klesha bandhano vashi viharati. So this is that Vishoka plane. Madhumati, Madhupratika, Vishoka, the third one. So this is Vishoka plane, attaining the third level of yogi. And therefore yogi gets sarvajñatvam, sarvajñatrutvam It is because he is dagdha klesha. The kleshas are burnt, and therefore he is really indeed the master. There is no control of klesha and karma on him, because it is dagdha klesha state, and that's how he gets sarvagnatrutvam cha, ability to be knowing anything and everything without exception whatsoever. So the next level of yogi, it gets mentioned here, which is Vishoka, plane of yogi. Apart from Madhumati, Madhupratika, Vishoka. Now, this seems to be the supreme attainment. Mastery over all things in their all states. What control do we have on something that has become latent? No control over it. So, we might have some control over something that is in a potential state or actual state, but we don't count any control over something that is latent. We say it is gone past, what can you do? Nothing can be done. But that too is within the grasp and control of a yogi, and that is why it is sarva bhava adhishtatrutvam. So this is the supreme attainment. Sarva bhava adhishtatrutvam and sarva jnatrutvam. Now if it is the supreme attainment, there is something beyond it. That gets mentioned in the 58th sutra. Tadvairagyadapi dosha bijakshaye kaivalyam. Tadvairagyadapi, even after renouncing that siddhi or the plane of Vishoka or the power of Sarvabhava Adhishtatrutvam and Sarvagnatrutvam, even after having renounced it, given up, that is Tadvairagyadapi. What happens? Dosha bija kshaye kaivalyam. The dosha bija, all defects in the seed form are also destroyed. And that is kaivalyam. So that is the supreme purushartha. So Vyasa explains this in the 50th sutra. Yada asyaivam bhavati klesha karma kshaye sattvasya ayam viveka pratyayo dharma sattvam cha heya pakshe nyastaha purushasya aparanami shuddho anya sattvat iti. Now why does the yogi give up the supreme siddhi, supreme attainment, where there is no attainment beyond this? It is not possible to have any attainment. There is nothing exists to be conquered thereafter. Why is that then offered? Why is that then it is surrendered? Because he knows that the self is beyond the gunas. This is all in the realm of gunas. And while the self or Purusha Tattva is beyond the gunas, he is transcendent principle to gunas, and therefore that being transcendent and that being sought after, this is given up and this can be given up. So yogis, kleshas and karmas have been totally enfeebled. Then yogi gets this viveka khyati, which is sattva gunatmaka, exalted sattva guna. He realizes that this is after all sattva guna exalted, and therefore it is in the class of avoidable, because that is after all prakriti, because Purusha is transcendent principle, because the Purusha is said to be aparanami shuddha and is totally different than sattva. And that is why, for the sake of that, yogi also can give up this, which is the supreme attainment. Evam asya tato विरज्यमानस्य यानि क्लेशबीजानि दग्धशीलबीजकल्पानि अप्रसवधर समर्थानि तानि सह मनसा प्रत्यस्तं गच्छन्ति. So in this way, that is the satiety for even sattva guna, exalted sattva guna, he gets the virakti, that's the paravairagya. And the klesha bija, which have become like burnt seed. Therefore, there can be no sprout from them. Then that chitta goes back and merges into the prakriti, primordial matter. So now it has no purpose. Both the purposes are served, bhoga, apavarga, both are served. Then if there is no purpose, it has no business to stay. So since it has no business to stay and linger on, it goes into pratiprasava and merges into primordial prakriti. Teshu pralineshu purusha puna idam tapatrayam no bhukte. So once the chitta merges into primordial matter, there will never be once again upcoming of tapatrayam. The adibhutika, adhyatmika and adidaivika tapatrayas will not again make a headway. And therefore, the dukkham in all forms absolutely would come to an end, and that's why it would be kaivalya. Tad etesham gunanam manasi karma klesha vipakas swarupena abhivyaktanam charitarthanam pratiprasave purushasya atyantika gunaviyoga kaivalyam. So absolute and complete separation from gunas is the kaivalyam of Purusha that happens because of charitadhikara state, accomplished state, fully accomplished state of a yogi, and the chitta of a yogi now being in completely accomplished state. The Purusha Tattva now separates from gunas of whatsoever kind, and that's why it is called kaivalya. Tada Swarupa Pratishtha Chiti Shaktihi Eva Purusha Iti. And at that time, the Purusha establishes in its own form, and it is called Swarupa Pratishtha, and that is the Parama Purushartha. So, the Supreme Siddhi has something to transcend, and that is the Kaivalya Moksha Nirvana. And he gets into the final Asamprajna Samadhi, which is Samskara Shesha, and that is the fourth hierarchy of yogis: Madhumati, Madhupratika, Vishoka, and Samskara Shesha. So, yogi is on the final rung, leaps into Kaivalyam. So, with that, the Sutra 50th also comes to an end. And in the 51st Sutra, Patanjali mentions a very interesting topic, which is signal, red signal given to even these yogis. The sutra is Sthani Upanimantrane Sangasmaya Karanam Punaha Anishta Prasangat. Sthani. What are the sthanas? Swargadi lokas, those celestial heavenly planes, which are indwelled by Siddha Purushas, Deva Devatas, superhuman beings. From them he gets invitations. They allure him with invitations to visit the heavenly planes, where delights and pleasures know no bounds, boundless pleasures and delights, glories. So they extend invitations which are in a way allurements. Now when allurements are given to him by the indwellers of these higher planes, celestial planes, if the yogi accepts the invitations, he will invite the fall. So it is expected that he doesn't accept the invitations. He refuses the invitations. But in refusing these invitations, he can get what is called as smaya. The smaya is self-pride, that I could not be allured, I could not be deceived, I could not be made victim. So there comes as elation and state of self-confidence and a kind of pride, self-pride. That also is going to cause a fall. So he is like a double-edged blade. He cannot accept nor reject. If he accepts, he will fall prey to allurements. If he rejects, he will get smaya. And therefore he should be very diplomatic. Because he cannot refuse the deities. If he refuses the deities, then he has a bad time. And if he refuses, again he has a bad time. So this is a predicament for a yogi on a supreme plane. And this predicament is absolutely mountainous compared to predicament that we have in our lives. So therefore he says, Sthani upannimantrane sangasmaya karanam punah anishta prasangat. So Vyasa explains, Chatvaraha khalu ami yoginaha. There are 4 planes of yogi. What are those? Prathamakalpikaha, madhubhumikaha, prajnajyoti, atikranta bhavaniya. So different nomenclatures given to what we considered earlier. So there is another description to the 4 planes of yogi. Chatvaraha khalu ami yoginaha. Yogis are of 4 planes, one of the 4 planes. The first one is called Madhu Prathama Kalpikaha. The second one is Madhubhumikaha. The third one is Prajna Jyotihi. And the fourth one is Atikranta Bhavaniya. All correspond to what we already considered. Madhubhumi, Madhupratika, Vishoka and Samskara Shesha. Just different nomenclature. So, Tatra Abhyasi Prarutamatra Jyoti Pratamaha. So one who has embarked upon essential yoga, quintessential yoga, is called Prathama Kalpika. So he is Samyamabhyasi. He is Samadhi Abhyasi. He is Samyamabhyasi. He is called Prathama Kalpika. And then on the second plane he becomes Madhubhumika by attaining various siddhis which we considered so far. And then he becomes Tatta Abhyasi Pravrittamatra Jyotihi Prathamaha. So he gets that light to pursue the essential quintessential yoga. The second one is called Madhubhumika. Madhubhumika means one who has attained Rutambhara Prajna. This was discussed in very first chapter. Rutambhara Prajna. So he is second level yogi. And he is also called Madhubhumika. The third one is Bhutendriya Jayi. The third plane is Bhutendriya Jayi. Bhuta Jaya, Indriya Jaya were considered. So the one who attains that, he is of the third plane, that is Vishoka plane. So he gets the conquest over entire Prakriti, Pradhana Jaya, etc. Then Sarveshu Bhaviteshu Bhavaniyeshu Krutaraksha Bandha Kartavya Sadhanadi Man is the third one. Then Chaturtho Yastu Atikranta Bhavaniya Tasya Chitta Pratisargaha Eko Artha. So when the Chitta goes for Pratiprasava, he is on the fourth plane. So when getting onto the fourth plane, Chitta proceeds to Pratiprasava. And Sapta Vidha Asya Pranta Bhumi. He has Sapta Pranta Bhumi Pragnya, again discussed in the second chapter. Tatra Madhumatim Bhumim. So there he says the Madhumati Bhumi is the one where the Devatas, the gods and deities who are on a higher plane of consciousness, they try to allure him. They see that the yogi has a very pure mind and therefore they allure him. How do they allure him? Bho iha asyatam iha samramyatam kavaniyo ayam bhogaha kamaniya iyam kanya rasayanam idam jara mrutyum na badate vaihasayam idam yanam Ami kalpadrumaha punya mandakini siddha maharshaya uttama anukula apsaraso divyam shrotra chakshushi vajropamakayaha. So how do they allure? They say, oh, hey yogi, please accept our invitations to come to our fold. What will you get here? You can just be in heavenly conditions. You have exceptional bhogas, exceptional experiences of delights and happinesses. You have damsels around you who are very bewitching, they have bewitching beauty. You get divya rasayanas, you will get the elixir, you will get the nectar, for you to consume those so that you can keep Jara Mrityu at bay. You will keep the old age and death at bay. They will not touch you. There will be Kalpa Vrukshas around you who will fulfill any and every desire that you have. No desire of you will be unfulfilled. That's how the heaven is. And they are all in servitude to you. So please accept our invitations and come to our fold, come to our plane. The Rishis and Maharshis will be in servitude of you. They are waiting to welcome you. So please accept our invitations. The damsels are waiting for your arrival to be serving you. So please consider our invitations and you will get exceptional experiences to your Divya Chakshu. Your eyes will be Divya Chakshu, Shrotram will be Divya Shrotram. You can hear the superlative aspects, you can see superlative aspects which you cannot see with your mortal eyes and cannot hear with mortal ears. You will get Vajra Samana Kaya. You will get body which is like diamond, cannot be at all if inflicted with anything. So please accept this invitation. These are the extended invitation. Swagunaihi sarvam vidam uparjitam ayushmatam pratighatam idam akshayam ajaram amarasthanam devanam priyaiti. Hey yogi, with your gunas, with yoga abhyasa, we really have a praise for your practices. We have praise which know no bounds for what you have attained in your life. And you are absolutely dear to all the deities. And you will get Akshaya, Amara, Ajara place if you come to us. You can come here and take this place which is immortal. Evam abhidhiyamanaha sangadoshan bhavayet ghoreshu samsara angareshu pachamanena maya janana maranam dhakkare viparita vartamanena katham chidasayitaditam klesha timira vinashi yoga pradipaha. So yogi should put a question to oneself, that I took recourse to yoga to be getting away from something which was parching me through my lives after lives after lives, and it kept me in that darkness, a spiritual darkness, for ages and ages. And I took recourse to yoga whereby I could find a breakthrough from darkness and come to light. How can I now accept the invitation which is going to again take me back? Because even if you go to heavens, Kshene Punye Martyaloke Vishanti, Bhagavad Gita says, even after your merits are exhausted, you come back to mortal plane. So that's how these celestial planes are, that you will come back after you exhaust your merits. So I will again come back to my starting point. So he puts a question to himself, how can I now give up which I embraced, the yoga pradipa, the light of yoga which I embraced? How can I now leave it? Tasya cha ete truna yonayo vishaya vasava pratipakshaha. So it is again going to give rise to my thrishna, my thirst, my hankering, and again it will draw me towards vishayas, it will again draw me towards shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha. They are all consumers of light. They are deepa bhakshaka. They will extinguish my light. They will extinguish my light of wisdom. And therefore, why should I once again embrace something which is again going to push me back from where I started? So it is not proper for me to really accept the invitation. So then he thinks, what then? Should I refuse? So what does he say? He doesn't refuse. Hey Devas, he says, hey gods, oh gods, let there be kalyanam for you. Let everything be auspicious to you. I am thankful for your invitation and I reverentially bow down to you. But let me tell you, I really am not looking for these pleasures and gratifications that you get in your planes, and just thank them and not refuse them, and then pursue the yoga sadhana further. Sangam akrutva smayam api na kuryat. Yes, not to get allured by those invitations and those allurements, But even smayam should not be touching you. The smayam means that kind of pride, oh, I refused it. So that also should not touch you, because that also will spoil you. And therefore, with folded hands, he should be in a supplicative form and manifestation to these celestial deities, and not flatly refuse their offers. Otherwise that will get in the smaya, the pride in the mind of the yogi, and that would be also devastating. So that's how he has to be diplomatically refusing this offer given to him. So the point is, even yogi at such a plane gets the allurements which are million times greater allurements than we have in our mortal planes. Many times we get allurements and then we can't help, we fall prey, but these allurements are mountainous compared to what allurements we get it. And therefore he proceeds towards his viveka sadhana. So, what is this viveka sadhana? So what is the vivekaja jnanam that gave sattva purushanyata khyati? That is being described in the 52nd sutra. So let us consider that, but that is in our next session. Namaskar all of you.